Welcome to Movies Are Life. I'm your host, Nathan Chandler. And forget Frankenstein, we've got Bella Baxter. That's right, we are talking about all things reanimation and romance to talk about one of the standouts in this year's Oscars, Poor Things. So I finally got a chance to catch up with Poor Things on Hulu, and unfortunately, our good friend Charles Mills, who's been on this podcast before, he was going to come on because he really enjoyed Poor Things, but he has an ear infection. So I called in a backup. I called in my mother-in-law, Jennifer Graham, to talk about this movie. How are you doing, Jennifer?
I'm great. I'm glad I'm the second in line.
well, hopefully we can tap into your memory banks because you saw it when it came out in the theater.
Right.
I think probably in 2023, like when it initially came out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. and so I never thought this would maybe be the movie that I would call you on to talk about.
I think it's really good we're discussing this movie.
Yeah. So if people don't know, this movie is... Well, I've been a really big fan of the director Yorgos Lanthimos for a long time, but his movies are in your face in more ways than one. And even compared to some of his past movies, we get to see a lot of Emma Stone, don't we?
Well, yes. And I only went to see the movie because of her, so I knew nothing about him or his movies, unless you can tell me one I've seen.
He has done The Lobster. Did you see that with Colin
Farrell? I did,
Farrell?
and it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, The Favorite. Did you see that with Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz and Olivia Colman won an Oscar for it?
Yeah.
So,
I guess I do like his movies, but they are different.
Yeah, they are too. So, speaking of that, let's dive into this electrifying tale of life, death, and everything in between.
Tell me, where did she come from?
I shall. For it is a happy tale.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate. It is the goal of all to progress, grow.
A woman plotting her course to freedom. How delightful.
Poor Things isn't just a film, it's a journey into the curious and fantastical mind of director Yorgos Lanthimos, known for his unique storytelling and penchant for the absurd. Lanthimos takes us on a wild ride through a world where science, love, and reanimation collide in unexpected ways. Inspired by the novel of the same name, Poor Things introduces us to Bella Baxter, a remarkable woman brought back to life through the unorthodox methods of Dr. Godwin Baxter, played by no other than Willem Dafoe. But as Bella, who's played by Emma Stone, navigates this strange new existence, she grapples with questions of identity, agency, and the very essence of what it means to be human. Joining Emma Stone, who delivers a mesmerizing performance, is Mark Ruffalo, Rami Youssef, Christopher Abbott, and Gerard Carmichael. The film was released theatrically in the United States on December 8th, 2023, and has grossed over $102 million worldwide on a budget of $35 million, which I think is pretty incredible considering how strange this movie is. But Poor Things was named one of the top 10 films of 2023 by the National Board of Review and the American Film Institute, and received various accolades, including 4 wins out of its 11 nominations at this most recent Academy Awards. It won for Best Production Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Costume Design, and then Emma Stone for Best Actress. So, kind of tapping into your memory banks, this year's Oscars, Oppenheimer was the favorite to win, but the one kind of race people weren't sure about was Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone for this Best Actress. So kind of right out of the gates, did you think Emma Stone deserved the award?
Yes, I think she definitely deserved the award. I think that, is it Molly? Or is that her stage?
She played Molly, but Lily Gladstone, yes.
I think Lily did a fantastic job, but I think she acted like an Indian woman would act.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think she did a great job at it. I think she brought great pathos, but Emma Stone had to do a lot. She had to work hard.
Yeah, well, it's one of those, it's just kind of silly. It boils down to, who gave the best performance because, all performances in film are all over the spectrum, right?
Right.
And I think this is, a perfect example of that. Lily Gladstone's performance, very quiet, subtle.
Right.
You know, this is Emma Stone's performance in this movie. It's quite the opposite. I'll say, you know, especially I saw this post her winning, Emma Stone winning. You know, I think I had always seen the clips of the early stages of Bella Baxter. And so I kind of, I don't know. So going into the movie, I mean, that's, you know, the way she moves and, you know, especially that kind of when she's in a childlike state at the beginning.
Right.
But watching the movie and by the end where you see how far she comes, but then it kind of like, when you're watching the movie, you're like, oh my gosh, oh yeah, she was like barely able to say words, and she develops into this like woman at the end. And I think the overall transformation over the film was quite,
It was quite good.
Quite good.
And just the walking like a toddler, the thinking like a toddler, you know, the whole thing was very interesting to watch.
Yeah. So do you remember what made you all go see this movie?
Me? I'm sure, because Steve said, what is this movie? I wanted to see it because she was in it. And, and I just wanted to see it. So we just went. And we were both a little shocked at at all the nudity, you know, all the parts she played. So, but
yeah, I'll say in once again, I'm really diving into brave territory here. We're talking about the explicit sex that happens in this movie. I'm never one to argue for a lot of nudity into a movie, but it was a weird movie where, I mean, it was a lot for sure. But I mean, I really think he was trying to say something with it.
She was innocent.
Yeah.
As, you know, as an innocent person. And she pulled that off. You know, she was just herself and had no perimeters.
Right.
To go by.
Yeah.
So I loved it, of course, you'll bring that up, I'm sure, but on the women's freedom point of view.
Right. Yeah. And I thought this was real interesting that this movie came out at the same time as Barbie. Right. Because, you know, both movies are very similar in the themes that it's challenging you on. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of it is basically like taking control of your own body, right? Like not telling man, you know, what to do. And that's very much this movie is like men are constantly telling Bella what to do. No, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do this. And it is real funny that I was like, now completely different approaches to the subject matter, right?
Yes. Because nobody was telling Barbie what to do, really.
Right.
Is that what you mean? I mean, the men in that movie were inconsequential. What's the word?
Inconsequential.
They just, you know, the Kens didn't matter, and they never did when we played with them. Right. You know.
Yeah, and Bella here is. Besides God, her dad, the scientist that brings him, and I forget Remy Youssef's character who kind of loves Bella for who she is. Max in it. Yeah. You know, those two guys. You know, they love Bella for who she is, and you know what she becomes, how strong she is. But the other men in her life are very much, you know, trying to get her to conform to
what woman is supposed to be in that age. Yes. And that was even worse than now, kind of. But
the film, I thought, explores themes of like resurrection, morality, the nature of humanity. But all these very deep themes. But one thing I've always liked about his movies is because he always touches on these type of subjects, but also, I mean, it's just my type of humor. Did you find it funny at all?
Yeah, the humor was great. Yeah. I can't remember from now till when I saw it what it was really about, but it was good. It was body humor, you know. Yeah. It was the whole thing, I think.
Yeah. There's like one point, I forget, like, they're like, people are reacting to something that happened, and it does these like zoom in close up shots, and then it does a random zoom in shot to one of the creatures, like the duck dog or something. Oh yeah. And it kind of goes quack or something like that. So it's a movie that's not taking itself, you know, too seriously.
Right. And Well, I like it that was it Frankenstein?
Yeah.
I mean, is that his name in the movie?
Willem Dafoe's character? No, he was. Bella constantly refers to him as God.
Yes, okay.
Dr. Godwin Baxter, which is, you know.
Okay, like his. Well, I liked it that he wasn't evil. Mm-hmm. You know, that wasn't his premise.
Right. Yeah.
To be evil.
Yeah.
And that was neat. You know, to watch him kind of be. He loved Bella like a daughter, really.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't trying to take advantage of her in any way. He just saved the woman the woman's body, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's been a while, but yeah.
And then
he took the brain of the fetus and the woman who killed herself,
right,
and put that baby's brain into the human body.
And then her actual husband came back, right?
Yeah,
And
at the
tried
very
to-
end. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I thought. So I kind of thought ultimately. I did think it worked in the ultimately kind of the end narrative of it all, but that almost felt kind of like a additional storyline that got thrown in.
Right.
I mean, this movie is already, I would say, not complicated, and it's not hard to follow.
No.
I didn't think, but there's a lot to think on through all the laughs and all the things that are happening. I mean, it's a movie. I mean, her creator she refers to as God, so there's already these like deep things that you're making connections to, and then him coming in at the end, it's kind of like here's okay, another facet of this story. I guess
Story came in but it wasn't complicated like Oppenheimer, which I watched again on the plane.
Yeah.
And realized I didn't understand the whole movie, really.
Yeah.
But is it Oppenheimer or Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So did visually, I mean, that is one of the reasons I love Lanthimos films. And I mean, it just seems like each film, you can tell he's getting more of a budget to play with and stuff. And I would say, even though we have a pretty big TV here and it was fun to watch, I was a little jealous of not having that theater experience. Was that something?
It was great. Visual.
Yeah.
I mean, the costumes were great. The whole thing was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the makeup.
Yeah.
Did they win for makeup? I can't remember.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love a movie that can utilize special effects, but also have very like practical, like you can tell a lot of the sets, like, so the ship that they're on in it, is a very, it was built, but obviously the backgrounds are visual, but the way the cinematography blends the two, it's, I mean, this is already kind of like a dreamlike type of world. And so,
The, and I thought it was interesting. I thought I'd forgotten how pretty Emma Stone is, because Bella really wasn't pretty, in her face. Did you notice?
Right.
I mean, it was when I saw Emma Stone at the
Oscars.
Yeah. She was just pretty again. And I thought, they really kept her from being that way.
Yeah.
She just was out there with her whole life and her whole body.
Yeah, she was. I was like, I think it's cliche to say when a performance is like brave, but I was like, I think this epitomizes a very like brave performance.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it does.
Yeah. And I would like to mention, just because I've always liked him, but Mark Ruffalo is in here as a supporting character, and I would say really brings the funny to this movie.
He did a good job.
His reactions and how he I don't want to say he puts up with Bella, because he's the one who put himself in Bella's life in the first place, but the way he is constantly just trying to rein her in and failing.
And it always surprises him. He never quite gets it, but he pulls that off well, you know.
Yeah. So without giving away too much of the end of this movie for those who might have not seen it,
or me, who might not remember.
I thought it was very interesting. I think the best way to put it is that Bella really almost kind of takes control of creation herself. She is something that's been created, and I would say the final shot is almost of a Garden of Eden type scenario where she now has her perfect world,
and all these strange people are living around her.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't give it away, but I can't quite remember.
Yes. So did you find that being like a kind of a satisfactory ending, or just?
Yeah, I mean, she controlled her world and her environment.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah. So the one hang up I had about this movie, like overall, like I really liked it. And as I've mentioned, I've always been a fan of his movies. I'm always reluctant to. I just only recommend his movies to certain people. His movies.
I understand totally.
Yeah, his movies are not for everybody. And so, all that said, and I love living in his worlds. This movie for me was just a little. I started kind of looking at my watch a little bit. Kind of by the point to where we get to the end of the story, I kind of was like, yeah, I get it. Like, it was almost a little, there's so much to take it. It's also, I would compare it, even though they're very different filmmakers, like a Wes Anderson movie. I love Wes Anderson, but a lot of it goes a long way. And that's what I felt like this movie is. And especially for the content.
I don't remember that feeling because I was in a theater. And, so
Yeah.
I don't remember that feeling.
Yeah.
I might have had it, but
yeah. So is this a movie you would recommend to other people?
not everyone. To Terry, my sister.
Yeah.
Let me think who else. Becky, maybe. Becky wouldn't quite get it.
Yeah.
Let me see. Not Whitney. Probably not Debbie.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
There's not many people in the world.
Movie Musings.
I was looking at these that I wrote down. I don't know. I don't know if you would even be able to answer this, but a funny one that I had was, if you could merge any two animals together to form a pet, what would it be? What would the two animals be?
There's not one animal I would merge to make a pet. Two animals to make a pet. Nope.
No, I know. That's why I asked you that one. That's why I was laughing, because I was like, yeah, if I knew you were doing this, I would never ask you that, because I knew you would be.
I don't want one pet or two and a half.
Yeah. So this movie clearly evokes old horror movies like Frankenstein and those sorts of things. You've never come off to me as someone who enjoys horror movies.
No,
so
When I saw the guy's face for the first time, I thought, what have I gotten into? Because I didn't review it quite well.
Yeah.
But I did like, that funny movie, Old Frankenstein. What was that called?
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I do not like horror movies, no.
Okay, so maybe this third question, like I said, I didn't write these for you.
You didn't write it for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there a skill set when you were growing up that it took you a long time to develop? So Bella in here is very much learning, how to walk, how to dance, those sorts of things.
Wow. That is a long time ago question. A skill set.
Or maybe there's one you still haven't developed.
Yeah, maybe there's one I still can't do. Can you think of one? You probably think one for me. A skill set. Most things. Writing neatly.
Handwriting? Okay.
Cursive or writing.
Yeah.
Probably riding a horse. And I haven't ridden a bike in a long time. So maybe those things.
I
don't think I swim that well either.
Yeah. Well, Whitney always makes fun of how bad I am with my balance. And so, but I never did like a water skied for the first time way too late in my life. So the thought of even snow skiing, like there's no way that I could do it at all.
I did snow ski.
Yeah, you went on those trips.
I never watered ski.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were in Italy when the Oscars came on.
Yes.
Did you get?
I watched them. We watched them 2 nights ago.
Oh, you did? Oh, just recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, how did you think? Did you like the show overall?
I did. I liked it. It wasn't. There wasn't any big high moments or big even acts except for Barbie. Ken doing that. I didn't think, but that I can think of right now. But I did enjoy it. We watched the whole thing.
Yeah. I thought Jimmy Kimmel did a really good
I like him
really
as
good
a
job.
host.
Yeah. Did you see John Mulaney's monologue about Field of Dreams?
Yes.
I really liked that part.
He was real cute. They gave him a long time, too.
I think it was almost kind of he killed at it was a similar film awards banquet thing, but more like, it wasn't televised, but I saw it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And it was like 5 different older actors, directors, like got recognized. Yeah, and he did a set for that and really did well.
Did a good job.
Almost like it was kind of a litmus test of like, could he pull this hosting duty? Yeah. And
Who was that last host that was so bad that we all...
Oh, at the Golden Globes?
Yes.
Yeah. Joy Kim, I think his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't talk about him.
Yeah, but yeah, comparing the two, yeah. But it was fun to see the Oscars just kind of, the ratings went up a little bit, but a lot of people kind of said, "Oh, this is kind of the award show that I kind of always remember," and that sort of thing. Like, just kind of, it didn't seem like they tried some new things, but it wasn't completely like out of left field. Just kind of felt more traditional. But Jimmy Kimmel has such confidence. You know, at one point they even got ahead of schedule, which is usually not the case.
That was interesting.
Yeah, so.
He had to do filler.
Recommendations.
Any recommendations of you've been traveling the world, so you probably haven't watched many things.
Well, I watched Anatomy of a Fall on the plane.
I really want to watch that. I haven't watched it yet.
Yes.
I always kind of feel bad, like spring of 2024 is like when I'm catching up with all the movies that were talked about, like that were made in 2023. So I do want to see Anatomy of a Fall, and the Zone of Interest is coming out on Max pretty soon.
What is?
The Zone of Interest.
It
was nominated for Best Picture, won for Best International Film.
There's one on right now. Is it The Old Man or it? We were going to maybe go see that tomorrow.
Oh,
I can't think.
Is
what
it the one with Anthony Hopkins?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not called The Old Man, even though
it
he
called?
is an old man.
That's like the first thing that came to my mind.
It's like The Inside Man or something like that.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But I want to go see that. And there was one other one that I kind of wanted to see that's on at Warren.
Okay.
About remember names.
Yeah.
Even as I see them.
Yeah. Well, you didn't want to see Dune 2, did you? Dune Part 2?
Well, I only wanted to see Dune once because Stephen Colbert recommended it.
Oh, okay.
And he loves it. It's his favorite movie.
Oh.
And we are not those type of movie goers.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty sci-fi.
Yeah. We don't ever do sci-fi. And I think there's some out right now that I wouldn't mind seeing. Like, what is out? There's some good one out right now that's everybody goes to. And we don't.
Oh, like popular movies?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be one of them.
I know, but there's another one that I just thought, I'd like to see that.
Oh, the Ghostbusters movie? The new one?
Well, I'd like to see that because it will be funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I get to.
Yeah.
Steve doesn't like any of those kind.
I'll
you
go
and
with
I
you.
can go.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on so quick and doing this. So next week, I just thought this would be kind of fun, but it's the 25th anniversary of The Matrix. Surely you saw that movie. Speaking of sci-fi,
Have seen.
You never saw The Matrix?
No, I don't know anything about it.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. So you know Phil Keith. He hasn't been he member of Royal Lane Baptist Church.
Yes.
But anyway, he's a Baylor grad as well. He hasn't been on the show, but he's going to come on as a guest.
Nice.
Yeah, and talk about that movie. And so we're not going to dive into all the theories about it. You know, it's kind of a heady movie as far as that sort of thing, but more to kind of talk about its cultural reference and just the impact that it's had, you know, just on movies and everything like that. So that'll be a fun discussion.
Maybe I should watch one. Isn't there a lot of them?
There are. Once again, it's very sci-fi, but I mean, I was a senior in high school when it came out, so I mean, it was a big deal.
All, yeah.
No, we'll talk about that a little bit, but yeah, but the first movie is definitely, even if you're not a big sci-fi, it's almost kind of like a must, but it'd be interesting. I don't know. I could see you falling asleep during it, so I don't know. All right. Well, remember to visit our website, moviesarealife.com, for all our episodes. reviews, and more. Oh, check out our review for the new Mission Impossible movie. I was able to catch up with that. Also, a fun movie called Bottoms on Prime Video. I think you would like it, Jennifer. But
You saw the Mission Impossible movie?
oh, I just watched it the other day.
You did?
Yeah, when the girls were gone.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, I have those reviews up and other reviews, but all our episodes are up on the website. So check those out. Take a moment to rate and review the podcast. Tell people about it. We would really appreciate it. All right. Well, hope everybody has a great week.